Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Talking about all of the events from Monday, November 1st of 2021. So when I say the words, really only 2 countries had events today, you would think, oh, this is going to be a super chill episode. Pretty short, probably in a normal world wouldn't even do one. Typically my max is, or my minimum is 3 countries with at least one event. However, in these 2 countries, we have a lot to talk about with the British royal family, a lot. With COP26 starting, there were just a lot of things going on. Also, roughly knowing what November is going to look like means that even though today was quiet, tomorrow isn't necessarily going to be quiet. I think it is, though, but for most of the month, that's not going to hold true. So, even if there's a quiet day, I really, this month, cannot combine with another day. Because we could have a quiet day, but then have a super busy day the next day, making, an already busy day that much longer of an episode. So, the plan is to not miss any days. At all, this month. Possibly towards the end, I'm not gonna lie, for me in the States, we have Thanksgiving. The day of Thanksgiving will be the last day of the Spanish state visit to Sweden. I may take Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. It's typically a big shopping day. I may not do an episode that day. Typically, I'm not going to do a Friday episode anyway, but really and truly, I might just be offline that day. And just recovering because it's seeming as though December has a similar feel to November. Little quieter, but still overall, those first 2 weeks might be a little busy. So, with all that being said, I thought I would still do this episode, obviously. For all the reasons I just mentioned, but also because today is a pretty big day for the Daily Royal quote-unquote brand. I hate calling it that, but that's, at the end of the day, what it is. Because today I officially got all of the products on Shop the Daily Royal's Etsy store up. So, everything is listed for right now. Everything that I have made is listed and up. Really drove down on that today, just doing them, getting them all done. All the products were done, I just needed to list them all. So I finally got that done today. So they are all available at the Etsy store, Shop the Daily Royal. I think it's etsy.com/store/shop the Daily Royal. And I'm not sure where my Google, where I'm landing yet, but I don't know if it's at the top, but hopefully it's pretty high up there and you can just easily get to it. I will just quickly take a look and Google Shop the Daily Royal and see what happens. Okay, yeah, so right now, obviously it's a still fairly new store, so you do have to search for it a little bit beyond the first page of Google. So, no big deal. We'll get there. It's linked on Instagram. It'll be linked on the website probably by the end of today. That is something that I still need to do. But other than that, everything is up. So now it's just a matter of getting you all to it. It's linked wherever you are watching, listening, etc. The store is linked. So that's awesome. Let's see. I think let's jump in at this point, we're to the events. So with that, I am going to keep this one pretty casual, no like intros or anything like that, fairly one shot, but I do want to start with the British royal family. So today was officially the second day, but like today was the big first day of the UN Climate Change Council, also known as COP26. So this is, again, like I said, the UN Climate Change Council. These are held annually to really talk about the global climate crisis, and have the biggest leaders of the world all come together. Like almost every single country's leader is in Scotland right now, which is, terrifying when you say it like that. But like President Biden is there, Chancellor Merkel is there, President Macron is there, the King of Jordan was there for a hot minute, the Prince of Monaco is there, let's see, the Prime Minister of Canada. I mean, everybody's there. Everybody's there. So, it's obviously a huge deal. It's being hosted in Glasgow, which is in Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom, and so the British royal family is playing a huge role, as they are representatives of the host nation. So, there were a lot of things happening. So we're just going to kind of go in chronological order on this one, simply because that's the easiest way to do this. So in the morning, the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall, sorry, I was going to call him by his Scottish name, but like, no, Charles, the Prince of Wales, they attended the opening session of COP26, which is where all the global leaders come up and give a speech, essentially all of them. Not all of them, not every single global leader gives a speech, but like the big names give speeches. Biden gave a speech. Boris Johnson obviously gave a speech. Emmanuel Macron. I think Chancellor Merkel gave a speech. I haven't watched it all yet. It was literally playing while I was doing my outline, but it didn't take very long to do my outline because there were 2 countries with a few events. So, I'm going to continue watching that because I'm also a nerd when it comes to foreign policy and global politics and things like this, and like genuinely am interested outside of the whole royal connection of it all. So, Charles and Camilla attended that. The Prince of Wales did give a speech where he implored the global leaders of the world to really all come together and really start making actions. So these COPs, they're really good in that they highlight the problem. What they're not always good at, and this is like a problem on many fronts, especially in a lot of these intense conversation things, they're not always good at the action part. So we really need to, at this point, in where we're at in this crisis, need to start taking drastic action measures, which, look, gets really complicated and convoluted, and I understand all that, but, like, that's where we're at. We need to start taking these measures, so that's what he was imploring the global leaders to do, and he said, quote, so he's talked to global leaders about working together to, quote, save the threatened future of our young people. So that was the opening session. Then afterwards, he took part in several bilats, or bilateral meetings between world leaders. So this included the presidents of India, France. There were more. Those were just the 2 that I picked to highlight from. And then in the afternoon, he and the presidents of France and Mauritania hosted a session about the Great Green Wall, which is a initiative going on in Africa right now, to restore forestation, but also contribute to aiding the carbon, like a canopy, to really help with carbon footprint. So that was his morning and afternoon. So kind of at the same time, but a little bit later in the day, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived to Glasgow as well. So it's undetermined, at least to me, what all they're staying for and how long the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will be there. I expect Charles and Camilla to be there kind of long haul, like at least for the next few days. Typically, COP is going to calm down by like day 3, maybe day 4, with like a lot of the world leaders going back to their countries and leaving, their secretaries of energy. In the U.S., our special envoy for climate is there. I don't know. I assume John Kerry will stay. I don't know if our Secretary of State will stay. But like there are representatives there, even though I think Biden is done like tomorrow. People will stay. And that's when like the nitty gritty stuff happens. So like right now we're in the showbiz stage. But I don't know how long the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will be there. I don't know how long the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall will be there. None of that has really been announced. I do know that most of this week is going to be dedicated to COP events. But I don't know if they're all taking place in Glasgow or what. So anyway, after their arrival, Will and Kate visited a scouting group in Glasgow. So like a local troop, to learn about their initiative. So Scouts has an initiative right now called Promise to the Planet that is taking place at the same time as COP to raise awareness of the consequences of climate change, and also taking like action on events, or doing events that like take action. So for example, today, the kids and Will and Kate made these like wildflower seed balls, essentially like snowballs, that they then threw to help replant some wildflower that had been gone, because all of these like natural elements that people didn't keep, like wildflower gardens, etc., are really good for the earth, and so they took part in that. There was lots of different things happening at this event. It was just a lot. So then we get to the evening. So in the evening, there were 2 receptions. One was hosted by the Prince of Wales, Duchess of Cornwall, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. That was between Sustainable Market Initiative, as well as winners and finalists of the Earthshot Prize. That all kind of culminated together. So the big shots that take part in Sustainable Markets Initiative, which is Charles's endeavor, came together with the finalists of the Earthshot Prize, which is William's endeavor, to kind of help scale even like the non-winners projects. And like that. So I also found this tweet. It's from a Twitter account called UK Royalty, which I like genuinely don't follow a lot of royal Twitters. I follow like fan accounts. I follow the actual royals, but this one came across my feed, and it said, "Father brings the corporate entities, son brings the grassroots innovators that they should be funding." And like that right there is what it is. I don't think it was always intended to be this, but like that is what it is. These Earthshot finalists, the ones who did not win the whatever the award was, I think it was like £1 million, £10 million or something. I don't really remember. The ones that didn't win that still have projects that deserve to be funded too, and scaled and all of that. And so that's what this was. Big shots meeting the grassroots and working out plans. So that's just like one piece of the impact. I also saw today from like a royal reporter that I do follow on Twitter, that the Prime Minister of India met with the 15-year-old Indian girl who created like an ironing cart that runs on solar, or like I think solar, but also maybe like energy from her bike. I don't really remember all the specifics, but like he met with her today, which can only be done because she had such a impact on the global community, because she's 15 and doing this to save the world. And so today she got to meet with her prime minister in Scotland. Like, come on. The whole thing is just, it's amazing. So just yay. Again, promoting that collaboration was huge. And then afterwards, the Prince of Wales, Duchess of Cornwall, and Duke and Duchess of Cambridge attended the reception that I think was hosted by the UK government for all the leaders. So this is like a tradition of COP. I know the last COP was held in Madrid, and so King Felipe and Queen Letizia hosted the reception. It wasn't officially in Madrid, just to clarify this just a little bit. It was another country's COP, but they had an issue, and so they moved it to Madrid. And so ended up being hosted at Madrid. So they held a reception at the Royal Palace, etc. So I think that's what this is. It's the same kind of thing. If Queen Elizabeth were there in person, she would have been the official host, but she was not. So this is when Queen Elizabeth sent her video message to the global leaders in attendance, focused on coming together and solving the problems. I was genuinely shocked at how personal she got. It's not a super... Queen Elizabeth is not a person who goes super personal very often, and yet she did a little bit today, in that she talked about the Duke of Edinburgh and his commitment to the environment, that now, and these are pretty close to her exact words, that commitment now lives on in their oldest son, Charles, which also continues into Charles's oldest son, William. And she said, that she was very proud of them both for that. She also talked about just that importance of coming together, putting the political everythings aside to be a part of this change of the world. And I just think that's a really important thing, obviously. As someone who is very politically engaged, a little less so than I have been in the past, just for my own sanity, but very engaged in what's going on in the world. And then I also have this foreign policy interest. This is my jam, and I really hope that actual things come out of this. The last COP, again, the one in Madrid, was very interesting because it had some of the world leaders, but the President of the United States did not go. The Vice President of the United States did not go. The Secretary of State did not go. The person who represented the United States at the last COP was the Speaker of the House. Not that there's anything wrong with Nancy Pelosi. Love her, sort of. Loved her a little bit more a while ago. But that was the representation. That was not a high level. That was not even of the party in power. Because of course it wasn't. I don't remember seeing Chancellor Merkel. It does not mean she was not there, but I don't remember seeing her. So the global scale wasn't there, whereas today, global stops. So I just think that was great. Also, my favorite thing in the world has happened. President Biden met the Duke of Cambridge, and my whole life has been made. Not that, here's the thing, guys. I am pro-Biden over the alternative that we had. I am not thrilled with what's going on right now in this package that was supposed to be really intense on climate change and all of those initiatives. booted. Not happy. Just like, it is what it is, but like to see to see it not be the former president was just magical. That's all I'll say. It was just magical. Anyway, so that was day one of COP26 in Glasgow. I am certain that there will be more royal participation in the coming days. I just don't know from who or when, or what that looks like, really. But that is what was going on there. Like I said, a lot to talk about, which I'm kind of glad that the only other country that had events was Denmark, because I got to spend 20 minutes talking about just the British royal family and COP. So with that, we'll move over to Denmark to talk about their interesting day. So in Denmark today, there were public audiences, which just basically, from what I can tell right now, means that the Queen is meeting with people who have been awarded various honors in Denmark. I don't understand. I'm confused. I think I will continue to be confused until some level of clarification is made. But as of right now, it still has not been made. So that's where I'm at with that. To my knowledge, no pictures have been shared of the Queen of this, so I genuinely don't even know what this looks like. Anyway, that's my rant. It's the first rant, because now I have another one. So, also today, Crown Prince Frederik took part in a royal hunt, which is a state-sanctioned hunt in a Danish state forest that take place during hunting season from October to January. Let me preface this with there is a viable need that I, who grew up in rural America, understand of hunting for population control. That is a thing, I think. And if it's not, that is what I have grown up knowing my entire life, and do not know the difference. That being said, we are of an era at this point where this seems certainly not barbaric, but elitist, and a little confusing. Now, listen, I am not Danish. I am not. But, I'm very, very American. I grew up in rural America. It was not my school shut down the day that hunting season started because everyone was going to go hunting. That was the thing. I did not ever hunt, but I have relatives who certainly did, and do. And, not my jam, but I grew up around it. And so I don't want to make claims that the Danish people would disagree with. I'm going to state this as my opinion, that it just seems very out of touch with what's going on in all reality. On one hand we have I don't know, it just seems very, I don't quite know what I want to say because I'm so confused. But all of that to say is this is an old tradition, where a royal, typically these were referred to as king's hunts. There's obviously not a king right now, but Crown Prince Frederik leads the charge on these. And it just seems bizarre. And I don't like it. And I will flat out say I don't like it. But that is not to say that I'm right. I think I could be wrong in this situation, but I don't know. This is where it would come in handy to, like, know more people in the Scandinavian world. Okay, so that was the first event. And then also today, Crown Princess Mary, this event I love, just so you all know. She unveiled the 2021 Christmas stamp. So these are typical postal stamps that are redesigned every year. They're typically beautiful. This year's theme is Home for Christmas, which I think is beautiful and lovely. The stamps themselves are lovely. But what's really cool is the proceeds from these stamps go to benefit various organizations throughout Denmark, specifically aiding in the welfare of children, which I think is so cool. I know other countries do things similar to this as well. I know here in the States there are stamps that you can buy where, like, a certain percentage of postage goes to a charitable organization. And I think that's awesome too. It's just like there's such a tradition. So this is the 118th Christmas stamp. So, like, it's just such a tradition in Denmark that, like, the stamp reveal is a huge thing. At least that's the way it appears from what I read. Like, and again, I very much live in a bubble surrounded of royals when I read international news for the most part. But, like, it seems like it's a big deal. And so that was her day today. I genuinely love the Christmas stamp unveiling. It's such, like, a wholehearted moment. I also don't know if it's always done on November 1st, but, like, surely if you're of the internet age, you've been seeing all of these, like, memes about, like, October 31st at 11:59, it's still Halloween. November 1st at 12:01 a.m., it's, like, Mariah Carey's Christmas songs all on repeat. Which is very much how I'm feeling today. Like, I'm very much like, okay, like, let's do some Christmas now, which is, I'm not typically a Christmas in November person. I do Christmas on Black Friday. That's when I set up Christmas. But I'm thinking I might do it a little early this year because why not? It also is just really pretty and makes me happy. So that's what I'm going to do. And, like, this very much continued that moment of, oh, it's the Christmas season now. We all get to be happy and jolly, even though a lot's happening in the world. So that is what was going on today in Denmark, and that's the end. So Belgium has no events scheduled this week. The Netherlands have a few events scheduled, but, like, not today or tomorrow. They go to Dubai on Wednesday. Norway, there were just a lot of audiences today, so there are a lot of events in Norway this week. And Spain was super quiet today, but tomorrow Queen Letizia starts her trip to Paraguay, as well as, like, King Felipe doing a bunch of events in Spain over the next few days as well. So, like, today was just calm before the storm, and then Sweden has no events all week. So it's going to be kind of a weird week in that there's going to be a lot going on, even though we don't have two countries for sure that we're talking about, like, all week. But anyway, so that's the deal there. Please go check out thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram, like and review this podcast wherever you are listening, and visit Shop The Daily Royal on Etsy. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Bye.